means we're solving equations with fractions in it. You guys have done that a million times, right? When we solve equations with fractions in them, the first thing we do is clear the fraction. Well, what do you think we're going to do today? Clear the fraction, exactly. So I want to remind you what it used to look like, okay? We used to do equations that kind of look like this. We had maybe 1 over 4 plus x over 6 equals 2x over 3. Okay? So then, in order to clear the fraction, we had to multiply by the what? The common denominator. What is the common denominator between 4, 6, and 3? 12, yes. So we're going to times every single thing by 12. In the first one, 12 and 4 technically cancel, right? So 4 goes into 12 3 times. So I have 1 times 3 plus. 6 goes into 12 twice. So I have 2x equals 3 goes into 12. So we have 8x. So now I can go ahead and subtract 2x the other side. I have 3 equals 6x. Divide both sides by 6. And x equals 1/2. Remember doing these? Kinda? Okay. Alright, so this is what we're going to do now, adding a variable to the denominator. Same thing, same steps, same everything, but now instead of having just a variable on top of your fraction, you're going to have it in the denominator as well. Alright? So, let's talk about the steps I want you to think about. For the last 2 weeks, we've been working with these rational functions, or expressions, right? Step 1 is to factor everywhere. Any guesses on step 2? What do we always do after we factor? State the restrictions. Thank you. State the restrictions. I can't spell. Alright. 3. Determine the common denominator. Step 4. Multiply each term by the common denominator. Step 5. Solve the equation. Alright. It's really not as bad as you guys are starting to think it is. Here is example number 1 today. If we have an equation, something like 1 over 4x minus 2 over 4 equals 1 over x. Alright, so in this one, do I have anything to factor? No? Right? I can't. There's no binomials or anything. Else a non-distribute. Okay. So now we state our restrictions. In the denominator, I have x's. So x cannot equal what? 0. Perfect. Okay? Now we got to decide on our common denominator. 4x. I agree. I'm going to write a 4x up here. Now, you can write it next to each one or just write it here. Either way, I'm good with. So in this first one, the denominator has the 4x, so we can actually technically cancel those. We just have a 1, right? Minus 2. Now what is this denominator missing out of our common denominator? An x, right? Equals. In this last one, I have 1 times, what's this one missing? A 4. Now we just solve the equation. So I have negative 2x equals 4 minus 1, if I subtract 1 to the other side, is 3. Divide both sides by negative 2. X equals negative 3 halves. Now, the reason we have to state our restriction is because we have to make sure this answer that we get doesn't match the one it can't be. If it does, right, it's wrong. It's one of those extraneous solutions. Remember when we had extraneous solutions several times throughout the year? There are solutions that actually work, but then don't work if you plug them back in. Same thing here. So you got to check that. So this one's good. That's why we state the restriction. Okay? Questions before we keep going? You guys doing all right? Shall we move it up a little bit? Yeah. All right. Example number 2. All right. Let's go with x minus 1 over x minus 1 over 2x equals x minus 1 over 2. Oh, no, I take that back. My bad. I'm sorry. Let's just make this negative 1 here. My bad. Negative 1 over 2. I don't want to give you too much stuff. Okay. So, yes, the common denominator is 2x. Alright, first thing though, can we factor anywhere? No. But we do have to state our restrictions. X cannot equal what? Good. Alright, so in the first one, I have an x minus 1. What do I have to multiply this by? A 2. Very good. Minus. How about this 1? What do I have to multiply 1 by? Nothing. Good, because it's got both parts of the denominator, right? Equals negative 1 times x. Okay, so before I keep going and we start solving this, does anybody have a question where the denominator went or why we're timing by what we are? We're all good? Okay, let's go ahead. Let's distribute. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Minus 1 equals negative x. Combining like terms on this side, I get 2x minus 3 equals negative x. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2x to the other side. So I have negative 3 equals negative 3x. Divide both sides by negative 3. What's x equal? 1. Very good. Does 1 match our restrictions? There we go. Nope, so this is a good answer. Again, any questions before we keep going? No, everybody's okay? Alright. Example number 3 then. How about if I have 3 over x minus 4 equals 1 over x minus 4 plus 2. So, can I factor anywhere? No? Okay. Restrictions. X cannot equal 4. Good. Common denominator. Good. X minus 4. Awesome. So in the first fraction, yep, so I have a 3 equals, good, 1 plus 2 times what? Yes, the x minus 4, because it doesn't have anything to cancel with it, right? Okay, so now let's simplify this one. I have 3 equals 1 plus 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Combining like terms, I get 3 equals negative 7 plus 2x. Add 7 to the other side. We get 10 equals 2x. So x equals 5. And again, at the top of your homework today, it's going to say to check for extraneous solutions. You just have to make sure your answer is not the same as the restriction. All right? Last example, if you guys are good. Okay. So this isn't bad. You guys don't mind this stuff at all.
Yeah, no.
This one's fine. Okay.
This is easy, like really easy.
Oh, good. What example am I on? 4 or 5? 4. Okay. This is really easy. All right.
Okay, now, give us like a really hard one. Yeah,
Okay.
a really hard one.
How about 1 over x plus 4 minus 2 over x squared plus, yeah, I'm getting there, x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals, not that bad.
So you just gave us an easy one.
This one's not hard.
You have to do
1 over x squared plus 5x plus 4. That's fancy. Alright, so first we have to factor everywhere.
So we have to do the x.
Yes, we have to do the x. 4 on top, 5 on the bottom. Tell me about the side. Positive 4 and positive 1. Alright, so I have x plus 4 and x plus 1. This is exactly the same thing. That one's x plus 4 and x plus 1. Right? Alright, let's talk about our restrictions. X cannot equal. Good. Negative 4 and negative 1. I agree. If I can write it down. There we go. Alright, what's our common denominator? Good. X plus 4 and x plus 1 is our common denominator together. Right? In the first one, we have the x plus 4. So I need to multiply my 1 times the x plus 1, because that's the one that I don't have. Minus 2. I have both of them. Very good. Equals 1. Because again, we have both of them in the denominator. So we have x plus 1 minus 2 equals 1. So x minus 1 equals 1. X equals. Was that one hard?
No. It looks difficult.
Okay. Yeah, but it wasn't. So here's the thing for today. We're going to do another worksheet tomorrow over this too. Okay, and I will be here, so no worries. But today's is pretty straightforward. We're doing a lot of actual algebra work. Okay? And tomorrow's we're going to take it up a notch. I did not want to pour it all on in one day. Alright? We're take it by steps. Alright, yes.
Do you have some autos? A couple of us are setting up for comments.
Hold on. I have not written out